This is TWiT.
We had access to the internet and to computers before we had access to all of this information in our pocket. So do you think that there was a big change like 10 years ago when suddenly smartphones specifically, not just feature phones that we got limited information, but we got the entire internet in our pocket? Was that a big kind of transition point?
Yeah, I mean, talking to these psychologists, they all pretty much agree that the smartphone was the game changer. Because it's one thing to know that you can look it up on a desktop somewhere, but
Right.
you don't have that with you. With the smartphone, I mean, it obviously changed the whole role of bartenders in our society. They used to be the arbiters of sports trivia, of any sort of, trivia fact. And nowadays, everyone pulls out their phone. And, you go to any restaurant, you see people looking at their phones. So really, the smartphone has become an extension of our brain, and it is changing the things that we actually, have on tap mentally.
Yeah, and I think about when I was, in school prior to the smartphone generation, and looking up facts actually took a lot of effort, right? Like you had to have intention. If you went out to dinner with somebody and you were talking about something very random and a trivia point came up and you didn't know the answer, you had to hold on, you had to bottle that up and remember it, and then take that somewhere later and in a very intention-filled sort of way, go and seek it out. And now it's this instinct. It's so common and so easy to do that we don't think twice about it. It's like junk. It's like garbage.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, when you had to remember to do it, usually you didn't, so you didn't end up looking at it. So, I mean, there is a big difference there.
But in that case, in that scenario, if you don't follow through with that and you're not informing yourself of that extra information, whereas now you are, I mean, do you think there's a little bit of a difference there? At least now you're getting that information. You're just getting it in maybe less of a way that you're going to retain it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, again, the Google effect applies. Just knowing in the back of your mind that you can look this stuff up kind of tells your brain, don't bother to remember this. Yeah. And for a lot of things, we just aren't memorizing these kind of things.
Yeah. I definitely have experienced that as well, where when you're writing something down with a pen and paper, in some ways, I mean, I've heard plenty of people say you will remember things better if you actually write it down versus typing it in. I can type as fast as I think sometimes. If somebody's giving me information, I can type really fast and put it all in there. How much of that am I actually going to retain? How much of is my brain going to hold on to and turn into valuable information, useful information down the line?
Yeah, it tends to go from your brain through your fingers to the silicon chips, and then it's kind of fun,